program in a contiguous campus area, that is how you'll be able to meet your numbers with the State Chancellor's office in terms of facility use.
You know, and actually 860, there's about 5,000 square feet that the genomics program we're using. Had they not had floods and all of the things that were happening up at Merritt, that would not have been an issue. But the fact that they now do not, the fact now that they don't have that space, they were going to remodel building A at Merritt, they were going to remodel as part of D, that's what genomics was going to be. But they're not able to do that now, and so from the very beginning I've indicated that 860 is not totally a College of Alameda property. It's always been a district property, but Alameda has the first priority. And so we're using most of the space for our swing space for our science building. And the 5,000 square feet that was left, we brought genomics in. In fact, as you know, Mike, there is some collaboration going on right now between the faculty at Merritt and College of Alameda relative to genomics and some of the microscopy, but it's only 5,000 square feet. And it is both swing space. Once, as Sadiq said, once Merritt builds their new health building, it'll be going up there. It's a temporary location.
Yes.
Where have you accounted for contract education?
Pardon me?
Where have you accounted for in the plan contract education?
It is a factor that goes, when we calculate the amount of square footage per contact, we assume two things. And it goes back to an earlier question I answered also, and that is state mandates that 20% of all space be looked at as alternate space. In other words, we only plan to 80%. We give ourselves a buffer of about 20% for contract ed and also for online and other activities that occur. And we maximize that, so as we're talking here and George was saying, when you grow here, if we can minimize the amount of swing space and the money that's spent on swing space, we can maximize the new facilities. And that's what we're looking. We take it out to 100%, even though you're really running at an 80% on campus level. You have that fluff for contract, partnerships, unusual delivery systems that we don't know about today. Yes, sir?
Well, part of that, what you just said, would be using partners' sites.
As much as possible, my first response to you. Other people's property is the best.
The program we're actually developing here actually has that in mind.
Yeah, no, seriously, one of the very best things we can do in other colleges when we do these, if you can run a program with a business in the area where you can convince the employer to also maybe allow some of his employee time to go to class. For example, start a class at 4 in the afternoon on site. If they have a conference room, a meeting room, we'll put a management and supervision class in there, for example, in a manufacturing facility, and the employer gives an hour and the student stays for 2 additional hours, so they get 3 units of coursework and never leave the building. That is, we found to be really attractive. And then that becomes the entree to the campus. And we market that and get them to get on for their college degree on a career ladder program. Does that help? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So just getting back to the diesel automotive, so, and you mentioned the CTE from other campuses, so there may be another building for those programs. That's not specific.
Yeah, that's not specific yet, but that's the idea that we would create a zone in this area that would deal with all those CTE functions. And as those become more specific and we find out exactly what was moving and when and where and how much square footage is required, then we'd look at if there's going to be more space needed for all those kinds of functions. Yeah.
And then what would be the plan for the existing diesel?
The existing diesel building?
Yeah.
It would be torn down.
Wow.
Now this is a view of the new entry point coming in off of Ralph Appizzado. And this is the main driveway. You come in now to this, and you have that little small parking lot that's here for the staff parking lot, would be off to the left. What you see straight ahead is a new tower in the center of the campus, a little heart of the campus that we talked about before. And over here is the admin building, which is currently being renovated. And what we do want to do is have some markers at the entrance, and then you'll see these repeated. So we begin to say Alameda, 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 College of Alameda, everywhere you go as you go around the campus on a continual basis. This is the new center of the campus. This is the building C, the new building C and D here. This is the bridge connection to the two parts of the building C and D, and this is the walkway underneath to come through, and this is the new center court with the new tower in the center of that courtyard. There was some seating around the perimeter, some landscaping and hardscape around that center area. And then these are a couple of the shots. This is off the lower picture. The lower right is off Webster Street, and this is the proposed bus stop again. That we have a proposed bus stop at this location, and then a pedestrian walkway that goes again directly to campus, to the center of the campus.
Leo, that's the one coming through the tube?
That's one coming through the tube, correct. Yeah, through the tube. We're proposing a new bus stop at that location. And then this is at the corner of Webster and Atlantic. The current walkway that you currently have there now, the idea again is to put some markers there, some flags, more landscaping, trees, kind of a tree-lined walkway, and really to accentuate that walkway going again to this center tower that's in the middle of the campus, in the heart of campus, again, orienting everybody to where they are, because obviously that tower in the middle, right off of it is the admin building, and the major classroom building C and D, and all the primary functions on the campus. And then this is coming from the rear parking lot, that one back there. Coming again back through building C and D, because C and D, just as it is here, is the one that's kind of at the back of the campus, and the big bulk of the parking has to walk through that building, get past that building somehow to get into the center of campus. And so this is showing that how you come from the parking lot, down the walkway, and on into the main campus. Again, these are the legs of that tower here. Yes, sir.
In that entranceway right there, are you going to have elevators right there?
Oh, well, the building is actually not designed yet. So, but
I was literally sent here by somebody who could not come saying I needed to advocate for that. We have disabled students, that's the main entranceway to this campus, and the elevators are bad located. So hey, if anyone's listening.
There will be.
You did your job.
We have students literally complaining on a daily basis about the elevators.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a good question.
Yeah.
Right now, the president, your college president, and I, we're forming a team of stakeholders that are going to use this space, from faculty, students, maintenance and operation people that will take care of the building. So we're forming a committee that is going to be the one that will meet regularly during the design and planning. So your point is well taken.
And the other thing too, I should mention that every project and all the site has to meet American ADA requirements. And being an older campus, this campus is trying to catch up with some of those requirements. It's a relatively flat campus, so it's not too bad, but it doesn't have all of the access points where they should be in general, which I know is a complaint you've probably heard. But part of the new process, the new buildings that are going in, with the access, the walkways that are going in, those are all going to meet those ADA requirements. And this is the phasing plan of how we're going to go through those process developing those buildings. The first phase is already underway, which is the modernization of Building A. The next phase is what Vice Chancellor Carr just mentioned, is Building C and D, and the plan is starting on the way for that. Next is the work on the new Willie Stargell Avenue, which is the new road in back that's going to be cutting through, and evidently the board just approved this new roadway that's going to connect to that as well as part of this first phase of work. Then we're also looking at the new campus entry that's going to go back here, and then there are going to be obviously some infrastructure projects. One of the things we haven't talked about a lot is the fact that we can put in all these new buildings, you can do all this modernization, but you've got some serious infrastructure issues. And by infrastructure, I'm talking about your mechanical, your water systems, sewer, electrical, data, all those things throughout the whole campus needs to be major upgrades to be done. That's one of the things that came out of our initial assessment of the campus as a whole, of all the campuses, quite frankly, is that infrastructure is a huge issue. As you start to develop new buildings, there's new technologies, there isn't enough power to the existing buildings, there isn't enough data in the existing buildings, the HVAC systems don't work well enough. I mean, on and on, the list goes on and on. So all that infrastructure work is going to have to be done throughout every phase of the project in order to get to the level where you get the new buildings that actually function properly. Yes, sir.
What about in taking consideration like the new buildings, whether it's the new
diesel mechanic building or the C&D building.